Well, good afternoon and welcome once again to Ed's Orchids. Now it's about time I started looking at the Cattleyas because they're getting a bit straggly and they need, well, this one especially needs repotting because all these roots I think are dead. But it won't stand up straight because it's overweight on one side. So let's just have a look at these roots, see if they are, if any of them are dead. Yep. Yep. There's one living there. And now let's get it out of its spot, hopefully. But how can I get it out of its spot like that? I just have to lose these. And hope the majority of them are dead. A bit difficult this. But that's what you get with Cattleyas, or Cattleyas, not Cattleyas, because they please themselves where they want to go, don't they? It's like if you don't straighten the tops out on them, then they become like this one. Whoops, like that. Right, there's plenty of roots on this, but it does want repotting because there's so many dead roots on it. But we'll take it out of its pot. This hasn't been repotted for about 2 years, and it's a RLC Golf Green, hairy pig, and I don't think I can get this out of its pot actually. There's a piece of lava rock here which is absolutely stuck in. So what do we do? What do we do? Well, unless we do something with it, it's not going to get any better, is it? So it's solid as a rock. Because there's 2 pieces of lava rock here, big pieces, and the plant is absolutely stuck to them. So what do? Do we try and pull them? I think so. Some movement. I think I better try and cut the pot. That'll be the best bet. Lean it up there, then it doesn't fall over, and get some proper cutters to cut the pot. Right, I've got some little snippers here. Generally used for the nail. I think the best thing to do is just cut the bottom off. So we'll go all the way around. I've watched quite a few videos on Cattleyas lately, and everybody keeps saying why do the roots stop growing after they've got a green tip on and suddenly they go black. Well, I've done an experiment and I'll show you in a bit on why this happens. This is only my opinion, I might be wrong, but this is what I think. And what I think is it's all caused by fertilizer. I used to grow Cattleyas in in terracotta pots, and the terracotta pots soak up, as you know, water. They also suck up a lot of fertilizer, and I found that, this is better, excuse me a minute, there you are, that's the way to do it. And I found that if I don't fertilise, the roots keep growing, but if I get fertiliser over the roots, the ends will die off. And the same happens to the terracotta pots. What happens is the terracotta pots soak up some fertiliser, and when the roots grow and the green tips touch the pots, that finishes them off. Because I did an experiment on two Cattleyas. One I didn't fertilise at all, and the other one I fertilised. But after I finish this, I'll show you the two. Right, let's try and get it out now. So will we have to do the same all round? Yeah, I think we'll have to. I think we'll have to. This has been wired up once before, but it hasn't done any good. But how do I do this? Right, same thing on here. Go all the way around. And that's a big thick piece here, so I might struggle a little bit. With some secateurs on that, I think. Now if I cut through this, I should be able to take this side off, and we'll see if it's going to work. Come on. Right. Well, we can't take this side off until we cut these as well. So it looks like it's going to be a complete destruction of the pot, but we'll save a lot of the roots. There we are. Some of the roots come off there. Are they living? Are they dead? That's dead. That's living. And that's dead. And this is in coconut husk. So we'll remove as much as we can before we start cutting again. And I think when I repot this, I'll put it straight back into bark. There's an awful root system on here, a big root system, but the roots aren't very thick, and they're all mingling with one another. So I'm going to switch the camera off for a minute while I've undone this side, and then we'll put it back on to have a look at the other side. Well, I've cut all the sides of the pot now. I've cut another side off. I've cut around the top, so it should come off easily now. So we'll try and take this side off without doing any damage. There we are, and the top should come off, I think. Yep, there we are. So we've taken the pot completely to pieces, so that's good. I know where we're at now. And you can see these two huge pieces of lava rock, and the roots are absolutely stuck to them. So we'll get all this bark out, this not bark, coconut husks. Some very big pieces of this in as well. So it's going to be a bit of a job, this. Taking pieces off, and then see that's stuck. That. And then we'll do what you should do with Cattleyas. When you repot them, trim the roots down. You should always do that with Cattleyas, and that's an old-fashioned way of doing things. And it worked in the olden days because they produced some beautiful blooms, better than today really. And that's what they did. They trimmed the roots right back to about half size. Got some beautiful blooms, so that's what I do. Right, you don't want to watch me doing this all the time, do you? So what I'll do as much as I can, and then come back to you when it's all done. Well, as you can see, all this is the large pieces of coconut shell, husk, big pieces of lava rock, but all that's out of the way now, and this is the plant cleaned up. Well, I haven't cleaned it up, I mean it's took all the compost out. Now here is sort of a big mat of roots. Now what do? Do we just start chopping them or what? But I think if you go back to the rhizome, and we'll take this as an example, this root coming out here, it's attached to a lot of other roots, so we'll just clip it and see how far that goes back, or if it's still living. I know it's hard. Yeah, there's just about enough life in it there, but none in the piece I've chopped off. So the idea is to go back to go back as far as you can to the rhizome and cut them off. That's soft, so we nip that off. And we'll keep going like that until we've cleaned it up. What I have to do now, I've done that one, that rhizome there, took all the dead roots off it, and that's what I'm left with. Absolutely nothing, they're all dead. So I'm going round all the rhizome to see which roots are still alive and which are dead, and chopping them off. But I'll better come back to you when I've done that, because that's going to take me some time. Well, this is all the rubbish I've trimmed off, trimmed all the roots. It took me a best part of an hour and a quarter, and we're left with this. All the roots are alive, if you can see it. Let's see what we get. There we are. All those roots are alive, and you can see where I've cut them all off the bottom of the rhizome. So nothing more to do with this one than pot it up again and put some stakes in to make them grow up straight. The two big leaf ones you can see that goes right at the top are the last two new growths. But the plant's not looking bad at all. So we'll go to the greenhouse and I'll get this potted up, and then I'll bring it back and stake it. Well, I've been down to the greenhouse and I've repotted it, and I've actually wired it all up as well. So it's now standing straight up and that's the latest growth. But unfortunately I knocked one of the growths off, this one. But these things happen when you've got orchids, but that's the way I do it anyhow, you know. But I know you'll all have your own ways of doing it, but you know me, I wire it up and put these stakes in to hold it straight up. And a lot of things that hold it straight up is the actual bark. You know, you can hold it straight up with bark if you put it in different positions. So that's all I can say about this one today. So that's the Golf Green Hairy Pig, and we'll see how it gets on from there. Well, there's nothing left to show you now, but these two plants I did a little experiment on, and I'm not saying this experiment is 100% proof, but it's what it's done for me. And this is the one. This one is the one that got fertilised, and you can see, you might see one root there which is fine, but most of them are dead. And this is the one that I didn't fertilise. And just look at that. I might just be lucky, you know, that it's worked out like that, but I just had to show you what happened. And I think the fertiliser does a lot of harm to cattleyas, because if you think about it, in the wild, you know, they live at the top of trees, and where do they get the fertiliser from? The calcium and the magnesium and all that sort of stuff. The only thing they get is a few bird droppings, and if they're lucky, and rainwater. So I think we really do over-fertilise cattleyas. Anyhow, that's all I've got to show you today. So thank you very much for watching. Hope it hasn't been too boring for you. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.